All right, hello, this is Mr. Wallace with the final page of the Algebra 2 Unit 2 semester exam review. This is page 4. Last night I kind of cut myself doing the dishes, and so forgive the Band-Aid, but it's all good. So page 4, this is the Unit 2. We are still on the functions unit. So here, starting with number 7, what are the relative maximum and relative minimum values of the function written as ordered pairs? Make sure to list all. Then list all intervals where functions are increasing or decreasing. All right, so relative maximums, that's going to be like our peaks, not the highest, but one of the peak points of the graph, and that's a relative maximum right there. That point is -3, 3, -3, 3. Relative minimums, that's one of the valleys. That's right here. It's not the lowest point, but one of the valleys, one of the low points. -1, -1. The absolute maximum is, as the name implies, the highest point. So that is 2, 8. And the absolute minimum, we do have an absolute minimum this time. That is -8, -2, the lowest point. Okay, my domain. My domain is all of my x values. My range is all of my y values. So my domain, what's my leftmost x value? And I'm only focusing on the x-axis to my rightmost x value. So what the domain means, it's all these numbers in between these two endpoints, right? All the x values in between. And it's going to be including -8 and +2 because we have closed circles. So we're going to use brackets on -8 and +2. All right, now my range, my bottommost y value, which is -2, and then my topmost y value is 8. So brackets there, -2 and 8. There we go. Let's see, intervals of increase. Okay, so we've got two intervals of increase. So the increase happens on the x-axis, which is the domain. We're only focusing on the x values that are increasing. That's from -8 to -3, because see how this graph is increasing? We're not going the range. No, the intervals of increase are from -8 to -3. All right, and that's going to be intervals of increase, -8, -3. There's another interval of increase from -1 to 2. So from -1 to 2. Intervals of decrease, we only have one. So it is decreasing from -3 to -1. See how it's decreasing right here? But it only spans across the x values of -3 to -1. All right, for how many values of x does this function equal 0, where y equals 0? So it's basically, what are my x-intercepts? I got x-intercepts at 1, 2, 3. 3 values. And that's where x equals -6, -2, and 0. All right, almost done with this one. Last little bit of graph right here. Using the graph to the right, identify the following. State the x-intercepts of the graph. As the name implies, it's where this graph crosses the x-axis. So there's two of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As coordinate points, it's -6, 0, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 0. Two x-intercepts. For it to be a function, obviously there's only one y-intercept, and it's right there, and the coordinate point is 0, 2. State the relative maximums as coordinate pairs. Okay, relative maximums, we've got, let's see, we've got -4 and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and then we have another maximum at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 2, 8. Yes, right there. Relative minimums, let's see how many we have. We have -1 and 1, that's one of our valleys. And we have 5, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2. All right, Let's see, the absolute maximum as an ordered pair is right up there, that highest point, which is 2, 8. And I do believe that this arrow right here, there's supposed to be an arrow right there, I believe. So that's why there's two relative minimums. The absolute minimum is none, because that's going to keep on going down forever and ever. Okay. Determine the domain. So leftmost x value to rightmost x value. There should be another arrow right there. I'm sorry, there are two arrows. So determine the domain. It's going to go on forever in both directions. So that's negative infinity to positive infinity. Determine the range. Because I have an arrow pointing down and an arrow pointing up, the range is also negative infinity to positive infinity. State one interval of increase. So an interval of increase, wherever it's increasing, I'm just going to go from here. That's my x value of negative 1. And it's increasing all the way to here, but what's my x value there? It's from negative 1 to 2. And then finally, state one interval of decrease. It could be from this point that we just talked about, which is 2. And it's decreasing all the way to right here. So what's that x value? Right? So it's decreasing across a span of 2, 3, 4, 2 to 5. There we go. All right, guys, that concludes our Algebra 2 Unit 2 review. I hope this helped, and please let us know, obviously, one of your teachers, if you need any extra assistance. We really appreciate you guys' hard work. So thank you so much.